so many businesses are leaking profits without even knowing it. Over the past few years, me and my team have audited thousands of websites now in a range of different industries. And these are some of the most common mistakes we find that are costing businesses thousands, if not millions, every year in wasted revenue and opportunities. And most importantly, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can fix these things and what you can do about them to start increasing your sales today. So the first most common mistake we see most businesses making is not regularly checking their analytics to see the most visited pages on the website. This is absolutely critical because this is where most of your attention is going. So if you're not paying attention to these pages and what's happening on these pages, this is the equivalent of having a physical store and allowing people to walk into the store but having nobody to greet them or not monitoring your team's performance on how they're greeting customers. We're basically just letting floods of people come through to certain pages on the website without doing anything to optimize those pages over time. So one of the easy things you can do here to fix this is, depending on the amount of traffic you're getting, if you're getting tens or hundreds of thousands of monthly visits to your website, you'll probably want to be doing this on a weekly basis. If you're only getting several thousand visits a month, you can probably get away with doing this once a month, but just checking in, going into your GA4 account under the report section, going under life cycle, and then the engagement tab, and then looking at landing pages. If you filter this by sessions, this is basically going to show you what are the pages on your website that most people are landing on. So we can see here on our website that one of our most common pages below the home page is this YouTube pre-roll ads blog that we've got. So what we would then do is come onto this blog post and look at it and ask, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to make this more engaging? What can we do to increase the chances that when someone visits this blog, they are so blown away, they want to become a lead? If you're in an e-com business and you see there's a certain product people are visiting, ask yourself, are our images up to date? Do we have testimonials on this page? Can we do anything to make this offer or this product more compelling than it currently is? One of the things we did with this particular blog is we actually created, as well as having this detailed blog, we've created a YouTube ads checklist for people that they can download to get more familiar with the steps they need to go through to set up YouTube ads. This allowed us to take this blog from a page that was generating us one lead every few months to a blog that generates us consistently several leads every single week, just from making this one small change. And we see the same thing with clients that we work with all the time, that just by thinking about and looking at areas you can optimize the most visited pages on your website, you can double, if not triple, the amount of leads or sales you are generating. And then to go a layer deeper here, one of the other things you can do is use some form of heat mapping or session recording software. If you don't have anything set up at the moment, Microsoft Clarity is a great place to start because it's completely free. You can put this tracking script on your website, and what we can then do is actually look at the data from this page to see exactly where we are losing the most people. So as we come down here, we can start to see where are the biggest areas of drop off, right? So you'll see there's a significant amount of people we've lost. We've got 85% retention here, and then we've lost about 20% of visitors around this section. So we then know, and we can ask ourselves, what can we do to make this more engaging within this section? So you can then use this data to continuously improve the content over time so that you are generating more leads and sales from whatever that page is on your website. Now, mistake number 2, and this is incredibly common, but it's not having or building in some form of social proof into either your checkouts if you're in e-com, or your sign up pages if you have more of a lead generation business where your main goal is generating a lead and you then convert that lead offline. So many businesses rely on just sending people through to a generic contact page that just has a form on it. They don't incorporate any social proof, any testimonials. And we used to do the same thing. And after transforming this page with a few key elements that I'll walk you through now, we saw about a 6 times increase in the amount of conversions we were getting from this page. So the first thing we did is added on a video that walks people through what's going to happen when they book this call. If you are in a lead generation business and you're asking people to book a call with you or contact you, you have to understand people have so many different options, and it can be scary for people to speak to a salesperson because they feel like they're going to get hounded and harassed. So this video is really there to just put people's mind at ease and tell them exactly what's going to happen when they fill in the form. We've even then got a testimonial under here to show people how valuable just these calls alone can be. We then have more credibility under here with case studies and testimonials of clients we've worked with. We've got our Google and Trustpilot review badges at the top here. See another example here with this company called Log My Care. They've got brands that they're associated with. They've got a testimonial here. And again, they're showing exactly what's going to happen on this call. Instead of it just being book a consultation or book a call, they're future pacing. They're showing, hey, here's the value we're going to get. We're going to talk about timelines and how we can help you plan confidently. If you're an e-com, the equivalent of this is going to be your cart and checkout process, right? So looking at that process that people go through, you have to remember when people get to either the checkout form in e-com or the sign up form, that's when people are getting pre-buyer's remorse, right? It's getting real for them. You're asking for my details, my credit card information. So this is where I'm going to be most hesitant. So this is arguably the most important area we need to have that trust building, credibility, those social proof layers. So like we've got here, we've got these reviews from customers. We've got the money back guarantee reminder. You'll see another example here with SolarWave, where they've got trusted by 700,000 customers, 60-day money back guarantee. They've then got the benefits and the SolarWave promise, right? Science-backed, real results, 1-year warranty. So they're building in all this assurance in the checkout page to reduce the abandoned cart rate. So again, whether you're in a lead gen business, whether you're selling e-com, selling online, thinking about your contact forms, your demo forms, your inquiry forms, your checkout process is so important, because this is where you're going to be losing so many of your potential leads if you're not doing a good enough job at building trust. Now, the next biggest missed opportunity we see is businesses not running always on retargeting campaigns. Put it this way, the average website conversion rate is between 0.5% to 3%. That means around 97% of your visitors aren't going to buy or even inquire on that initial visit to your website. However, they have come to your website, so they've expressed a clear interest in what you do or what you offer. So it's absolutely crazy to not have a campaign that is running constantly, retargeting all of the visitors to your website. What makes this even worse is that the way a lot of targeting algorithms work these days, that if someone has come onto your website and your competitors are more aggressive with their ad strategy, they could be taking that level of intent and interest that the platforms recognize and actually targeting people who have come to your website because they've shown a level of intent or interest in your product or service. So for the business who is trying to reach those people, their ads are going to show to them. So you might have generated the interest from potential customers, and your competitors are then cleaning up on your behalf. So just to give you some examples here of retargeting ads, this can be anything from user-generated content to testimonial images to testimonial videos to quotes to case studies, whatever it might be. This is really just to keep our brand front of mind, for one, but also to build that trust and to build that credibility, because it's one of the biggest reasons people won't buy on the first visit. They just don't have enough trust at this stage. So if you can show them some user-generated content, some videos, some quotes, some testimonials and case studies, etc., that can very often be the thing that with repeated exposure will bring them over the line to actually then buying from your brand. And again, if you're not the one staying front of mind here, your competitors will be. So please do not forget to have some always on retargeting campaigns. Now, the next big mistake we see businesses making is not having some form of lead magnet on your website. This is so important, because going back to what I said earlier about the fact that 97% of visitors coming to your site who are interested in your product or service aren't going to buy on that first interaction. You just don't know what stage of the journey they're at. When you think about a funnel, most people are going to be at the top of that funnel where they're just doing their initial research. That is where the majority of your audience is going to be. So by offering some form of lead magnet or informational, educational, value-driven content, it can allow you to get the details of that potential lead, of that potential buyer that you can then nurture over time to the point they are ready to buy. So this blog we looked at earlier, this is a perfect example of a lead magnet where, again, we're not doing this instead of creating the content. We still create this incredibly detailed blog so we can get this ranking in Google, but then we also have these handy guides and checklists that people can download and follow along with. Another example of this on our website, we offer a free website and marketing review for businesses who are serious about really taking their results to the next level, where we will record them a 10 to 15 minute video screen share going through their website and showing them exactly how they can improve their traffic, leads, and sales, effectively giving potential clients for us a way to try before they buy. If you're on the e-com space, this could be pop-ups for having initial vouchers or discounts for new customers. If you're selling something high ticket, this could even be things like buyer guides to help people making a right decision and choosing the right product for them. For some businesses, maybe webinars are the right lead magnet. There are lots of different types of things you'll want to experiment with and test here, but incorporating some form of lead magnet into your website can be a great way to being able to capture the interest of people who aren't ready to buy right now. Now, one of the next biggest mistakes we see businesses making is setting up Google Ads campaigns and not checking in with their search terms. To be clear, search terms are not the same as keywords that you're targeting. Google has made a lot of changes to match types in Google Ads over the past few years. So even if you're targeting certain keywords that you have on exact match, Google can still show you for keywords that aren't actually an exact match. They have these things called phrase match and exact match close variants. So they're taking a guess at other keywords you might want to be bidding on. And there are so many times when we've audited client campaigns and we have seen thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars of wasted spend going toward keywords or search terms that just aren't relevant to the business. So what you'll want to be doing is regularly checking the search terms reports under insights and reports in your Google Ads and excluding any keywords or any search terms you see that aren't actually relevant. And the more times you add in these exclusions, the more Google starts to understand what it is you actually want to target. You can't just rely on keyword targeting alone because you could be wasting thousands here. Now, one of the next biggest mistakes we see businesses making is not running reactivation campaigns for churned customers, customers who no longer buy from you, or even buyers who have been on your email list but have recently gone cold or become disengaged. One of the most underestimated ways to tackle this is through direct mail marketing. There are companies like Postpilot, for example, or Poplar, where you can actually create leaflets and postcards and flyers that can be delivered directly to your customer's address. And the reason this is so powerful is because when you think about email, you're lucky if you get a 50% open rate on your emails for most businesses, especially if you're talking about a list that's disengaged. You might only have 10% of those or even 0% of people that are actually opening your emails anymore. Whereas with direct mail, if someone's getting a leaflet or a postcard or a flyer through their door, you're guaranteed to get 100% open rate on that, right? People physically have to pick up this leaflet from the floor. And before you say, oh, I normally just chuck leaflets in the bin, consider this. Unless you've actually tarnished the relationship with that customer and they just hate your guts, if it's a business you bought from in the past, it's instantly going to achieve the job of just getting you back in their mind, which is really all you want to do. They're going to pick that up and say, oh yeah, I forgot about these guys. I haven't bought from them in a while. And that's really all we need it to do. But in terms of how effective they are, very often that's just going to come down to the creative that you use, the offers that you have on them. But please do not underestimate how powerful direct mail can be, especially for reactivation campaigns. Now, the final point I want to mention here, and this is an absolutely huge one, is businesses not leveraging top of funnel awareness campaigns and only focusing on conversion-based campaigns. What you have to understand is that conversion campaigns are going to be some of the highest CPM or cost per impression campaigns you will run because all of your competitors are doing the same thing. So not only do you have floods of competition, you're paying a ton of money to get in front of customers, but when you're going out to a cold audience with those conversion campaigns, very often it might be the first time someone's ever seen your brand. So already they're far less likely to buy because of exactly what we talked about earlier. However, when you run awareness objective campaigns, you are going to pay a much lower cost per impression. So very often you can reach a ton of people at a very low cost. And really all we want them to do is to just see our content. This can be like video views campaigns, engagement campaigns, awareness campaigns, just so we're getting our content in front of people. So they're seeing user generated content, they're seeing videos. Here's a few examples here in the B2B space where you'll see this is like educational content, right? So here's one of our ads where we've got a video on how the advertising space is broken. Here's a weather intelligence company talking about what aviation leaders are overlooking about sustainability, or a B2B demand gen platform talking about email nurturing campaigns. So what this is going to do, it's going to build trust with your potential customers up front, establish you as the experts, establish you as the authority, build up that desire for your product or for your service. So now when you come to retargeting that audience with the conversion campaigns, you will see your overall cost per acquisition come down significantly. You might see an initial increase in cost from running these campaigns on the front end, but usually over the long term, if we do analysis over a 3 to 6 month period, we see the overall blended customer acquisition cost coming down by about 30 to 40% on most customers that we've set up this top of funnel layer with. And another benefit to having this trust building layer at the top of funnel is the customers that you do get through are generally going to be more sticky. So they will buy from you more often, they're more engaged because there is more trust there. When we do this in the B2B space, we often see that the leads coming through will have a much higher close rate, and they very often close much quicker because through that initial educational content, they already have a good understanding of what it is you do. They understand more about your product or service, as opposed to if you were to just go out and try and do cold lead generation from scratch. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, that's all great, Tom, but how do I actually turn this into a repeatable process and a system for our business to start increasing our sales? Well, in this next video coming up, I'm going to be showing you how to do exactly that. I'll see you there.